viewers, it is great to have you back tonight on the Urban Debate, the all-out Jamia video wars essentially, with the Jamia Students Committee on one side and the police on the other side releasing their own version of videos to show what really went on December 15th. Yes, we are still talking about what really went on 2 months ago inside and outside the Jamia campus, and we are still talking about it because both sides only choose to give us the selective version. Now, 6 videos have been accessed by Mirror now that show you or give you a sense and a glimpse of what really went on. Video number 1 on your screens is again of December 15th, where you can see that stones are being pelted at the Jamia gate, and these stone pelters are actually inside the gate, inside the Jamia campus. Then we go on to the next video where you can see men entering the Jamia library with stones in their hands. Some of them have their faces covered. A couple of them also have some sticks that they are holding. So yes, those who were clearly involved in some kind of stone pelting that day did enter the library of the Jamia campus. Then we move on to the third clip, where we can see men with stones in their hands. This is outside the Jamia library. Here is one of those guys, a protester. Don't know if he was a student or not, but definitely got inside the campus. And you can see it's not even a stone, it's literally like a rock that he's holding in his hands. This is the third video we've got. And they're obviously tracking what's going on in the ground. And then all of those are also visible in other videos inside the library. The same gang. The fourth clip that's been accessed by us then shows you, and this is the one that went viral the first, how police is actually beating up the students inside the Jamia library. Now look at them. At this point, none of the students, and in this entire video, none of the students are attacking the police. They're all quietly in one corner, some of them pretending to study, others probably studying. But look at how the police comes in and starts trashing the students. Video number 5 is where some of the students are pleading with the cops to let them go, let them exit the library as the mayhem really explodes. So here you see first that the door is locked. The students have blocked it with the furniture, and then the police breaks open through the door of the library. Obviously, they're chasing the pelters and the protesters, and then they step inside the library. Now, the minute that really happens, and then they move the furniture to go in, you see a huge crowd of protesters will come in from the other side, and they're all saying, "Let us go out. Please don't do anything to me." That seems to be a member of the staff who's saying, "Please let some of the others exit." And then the police starts rounding up people. Now, I just want to point out, in this video as well as in the previous video, none of those people were picked up, detained, booked or arrested. Not so far. Here are the students pleading, getting hit. I don't know how the police is making out the difference between the pelters and the students who may have nothing to do with the protest. But at some point, everybody gets beaten up. In fact, towards the end of this video, when the mayhem gets out of control, you actually see cops standing on top of the furniture and breaking the CCTV. So as people begin to exit the library, and they're trying to get on top of each other to get out of the library lest they get beaten up and thrashed by the police, you also will see that the cop actually come up and break the CCTV that we are currently accessing right now. While there is no denying that stones were pelted, what this video also shows is how the police dealt with it. Now, there were a few very basic questions that one would want to ask the Delhi police at this point of time. And these are the 8 questions that we are putting forward. Why did the police not act if it had these videos since December 18th? That's what we've been told. Now, some of the videos they may have accessed later, but the library one was given to them on December 18th itself. What were they doing all this while? Why are they telling us now that they're investigating and they will look into what happened and the action of the police? Why did the police not submit this video to the court? Some amount of evidence has already been submitted to the court in the 2 FIRs that have been filed. Is the police trying to give a selective version by not showing and acknowledging that they have this evidence? If there were stone pelters in the library, which is now very evident, why were they not arrested? If the argument is that the police went after those who were resorting to violence, why were these people not arrested? If the Delhi police was absolutely following protocol at every single stage, then why did one of them damage the CCTV? Why did they break the CCTV camera? What kind of police covers their face and then breaks CCTVs? Why did the police lathi charge unarmed students in the library? If the students in the library were the ones creating unrest, why weren't they named in the FIR to begin with? What kind of a Banana Republic police enters a place, beats them all, and then walks away without taking the actual criminals to task? Question number 7. Despite Jamia administration handing over the CCTV, should the police have not looked at the role of some of their own men in uniform? And the last question, despite the Jamia administration handing over the CCTV to the government, why has the HRD ministry been silent all along on these issues? Those are the basic questions that I'm seeking answers to. Let's say good evening to our panelists. Dr. P.S. Pasricha, retired DGP of Maharashtra, joins us this evening. Gopal Agarwal, national spokesperson for the BJP. Dr. Geeta Bhatt, political analyst, also an academician. Arsalan Ahmed, student with the Department of Psychology in the Jamia Millia Islamia University, will be with us shortly. And Nija Chaudhary, senior journalist. If I can actually first up go across to Dr. Pasricha and ask him his view from the videos that have now emerged, Dr. Pasricha. And obviously, you and I can only, have comments basis what we are seeing. Other videos may emerge later. But so far, what is your view on the way things were handled?
Well, before we go ahead with the discussion, I must express my sadness at the developments in the recent days when the young students of various educational institutions across the country have become very active and participating in these kind of activities, whether it is JNU, whether Aligarh or Jamia or any other place. That's not a very good development because, well, I think we have to blame the political system as well, where all the political parties, whether ruling or opposition or any other party, they have to take cognizance because some parties may gain, short term, but in the long run, the nation and the system is going to suffer. Let that be taken very seriously. And then we come to the main question that you're asking. Well, I've also been seeing, videos in various channels. First, we have to establish the authenticity of the videos because in the social media, sometimes anything, is made and concocted and sent. So that requires, forensic investigation, and that the police has to send all the videotape that they have and all the clippings from the various cameras because it cannot be just library. They have to see the all the CCTV cameras. They have to pick up all the clippings, and then in order to create a logical sequence, how the developments took place and how it ended, what happened in between. All those will have to be sent to the forensic science laboratory and other experts for forensic investigation. Then only they'll be able to establish the veracity. And now, but on some video I find that where the students are sitting and policemen, suddenly one or two policemen, not all, but one or two policemen suddenly lose their poise and they start, assaulting the students. That was very, very sad. It cannot be done because even if they are accused, once they are sitting and they are not, indulging in violent activity, you arrest them if you want.
Right.
You pick up the people for grilling, but you cannot start beating when they are sitting. I think that was not a very good thing. It doesn't behove well of the Delhi police administration. They have to, some senior people have to answer those questions. And now it is very difficult for the police because it's a very thankless job. Although there is no law of the land that prohibits the entry of the police into any educational institution, but there is a code of conduct, certain protocols laid down, which are being followed all over the country. that unless the vice chancellor or registrar from the university or director or principal of the institute, they request and authorize the police, police generally does not enter into an educational institution.
Correct.
Now, if something is happening and if they don't take cognizance, then they'll be accused of inaction. And if they enter after authorization and something happens, then also they are blamed. So there are some, we have to discuss threadbare all the issues objectively, because there are yes and no, I think. So that's why I leave it to the other panelists, let them, join the discussion.
So let's take it point by point, Dr. Pasricha, and I agree with you. We have to take this objectively. It's not a complete black or a complete white. There are nuances. There are multiple videos. Questions have to be raised on both sides. And now with these videos, it cannot be denied that there were pelters who had managed to enter the Jamia campus. It can also not be denied, and there was mixed signal, information coming in from police in the initial days, that they entered the campus, that they went inside the library and they attacked the students inside the library. Now, I agree with you. The big question is, Gopal Agarwal, if there were stone pelters in the library and we can see them, why were they not arrested? Why were they not booked, dragged outside? Why did the police think it's okay to simply thrash them and then walk away?
Tanvi, how much time do I have? You gave 10 minutes to the gentleman.
I will give 10 minutes to Dr. Pasricha. Also, he's a former top cop.
In between you may.
But I will give you time. Go ahead, please. Answer.
Yeah. How much time you are giving to me?
How much time do you want, Mr. Agarwal?
I'm not a spokesperson for Delhi police. One thing. Yeah. I'm not a spokesperson of Delhi police, so that I'm not going to defend Delhi police like that. Yeah. 5 minutes.
Okay, I can't give you 5 minutes, Mr. Gopal Agarwal, but please go ahead and make your point. If you start repeating, then please allow me to interrupt. Go ahead, finish your point. Make your point, rather.
I'm not a spokesperson of Delhi police, so I'm not going to defend Delhi police. If Delhi police has to defend themselves, they will speak on themselves. Second thing is that there are 3 issues. The role of Delhi police, the violence in Jamia that day outside the college, and people running inside after violence. There is one thing, it is not only students alone, there are other miscreants also in that issues involved. And the third thing which has been very clearly raised is about the authenticity of videos. Piecemeal videos cannot be an evidence, and if we start debating on certain portions of videos, somebody be bringing out some part of video, other is bringing out another part of video, and we start debating, so you will start talking on some other issue and I'll also. So these are the 3 basic points we have to understand. Second, and the fourth point is, you cannot aspire agenda to an institution like Delhi Police. It's a government institution and it is a recognized institution. It works within certain limits, but then it's an institution. You cannot equate an institution by students alone and giving all the benefits of credibility to the students and all discredit to the agenda-driven police, etc. If you talk on those basic parameters, you cannot reach to any conclusion. So from this, the important thing is there was a violence. On that day, the violence was started by certain miscreants, whether they are student or outsiders, etc., will be known from the investigation. But the thing is, there was violence out of Jamia's agitation, and the agitation was called by the students, and it was in front of Jamia, where buses were burnt, where stones were pelted on the police, and people have indulged into violence. This is the thing. So ultimately, police is responsible to control this thing. So therefore, how it does, whether it has used more force, whether it has not used enough force, these are questions which can only come out of debate. So I think police has been responsible to control. What I understand, we cannot rely on these videos, whether these are piecemeal videos, And if the people who have indulged in that day violence are not only students, but there were outsiders. They ran into the campus. Who is inside the campus? They cannot be said that only students. From this, the third thing is that on this behalf only, we have to understand we should respect institutions. We cannot put agenda or conspire the conspiracy theory that police will do like this. They are responsible. They have the right to decide how to deal with violence, how to deal with any kind of agitation, of what preventive measure they have to take. And the issue has to be left to the police or to investigation. Delhi police has ordered those investigation. The Home Minister has also said that we will compile, and it is also in the court when this authenticity will be decided, then only we can look into. But these are not alone student. Violence has taken place, and I think the police is right to take action against any kind of violence. Once you start a violence, if police does not act, how much they will do, what they will do, you cannot be knowing. We have seen how things have gone worse from starting to the end.
All right, Mr. Gopal Agarwal. So just to reiterate what you said, point number one, we need to wait for the entire investigation. There can't be a debate basis piecemeal. We cannot attribute motives to an institution, and that the police was right in its action. Now, when you say it was right in its action, what do you mean? This is the only question I asked you.
And they are not only, fourth is, these are not the student alone. Fourth is, you cannot say that all were students alone.
I'm not saying any of that. I am not saying any of these things that you have kind of insinuated that I was saying to begin with. I have asked questions on both sides. I have not said that they were all students.
No, I am not saying to you.
So my question to you was very simple. I don't know why you didn't answer that question.
I am talking about
you think the police was right in their action? When you say if the police is right in their action, in a 16-minute video where you can see people entering the library, some of them, some students already there, other people coming in, pretending to read, police breaking through, coming inside and thrashing these people. Do you think that action was justified without police dragging the stone pelters outside, arresting them or booking them? They weren't booked or arrested.
How are you sure?
I have an entire 16-minute video. I'm basing it on that. It's running on the screen.
That is the sequence of events?
I am sure you know it. The HRD ministry has it.
That?
The HRD ministry has it. The government has this video.
Who is authenticating? No, who is authenticating? You take the responsibility of that video? How you are authenticating that video? You cannot discuss on the sequence of events.
Fair enough. We don't know the authenticity. You don't know the authenticity. You don't know the authenticity. Fair enough. It's been 2 months, Mr. Gopal Agarwal.
And I am not asking you.
I am not asking you about an instance that happened yesterday. I am asking you about an incident that took place 2 months ago. 2 whole months ago. Videos that have been with the government, we are told. Why are we not here with clearer answers? Is it right for the police to say now they will start looking into it? What were they doing for the last 2 months?
No, the Home Minister has already set up an inquiry into the whole incident.
No, those FIRs about the violence which had happened outside Jamia.
Within 2-3 days that we will inquire into
those FIRs are about violence that happened outside Jamia.
No, but the police say that those people indulging in violence outside ran inside the campus, and we ran after them inside the campus.
Okay, let me go across to Neerja Chaudhary before I go to Arsalan and Geeta. But Neerja Chaudhary, Mr. Gopal Agarwal says that we should show some respect to the institutions. And I agree, we should show respect, and I think we all have a lot of respect for Delhi police and the way they ensure that people are safe in our national capital every day. But does asking questions mean disrespect? Should there not be some questions raised tonight?
Of course, and I think for the health and efficacy of any institution, those questions must be asked, and it's the right of the citizen to do so. Number one, from the video clippings, and you know, today what you're showing on the screen is only reinforcing what was asked 2 months ago. You know, when you got those images on the television channels. including the library images. Number one, the police has no right to beat without any provocation, students who were studying there in the research wing, in the library, not even elsewhere. And you can see that very clearly, that those who had nothing to do with it were beaten up. You had students with stones. Now we don't see images of them pelting those stones and the police going for them. That is not there. And then also, I remember even those who'd burnt the buses outside, there were questions raised, were they outsiders deliberately wanting to discredit the movement? We haven't got the answer to those questions yet because the police's investigation is not complete. Are the stone pelters also outsiders trying to discredit the movement? We don't know again, but you very rightly said they were neither arrested nor were they booked. Why not? If the police saw these people carrying those big stones, of course not pelting them, why were they not picked up? It's an elementary thing to do. Number three, if there's one image and one incident that gave an impetus to the entire anti-CA protests all over the country, it was what happened in the library of Jamia Millia. People were incensed, people were unhappy. That's what brought the students out. And I would say my fourth point will be all this, lends us to ask this question: is the Delhi police increasingly becoming a handmaiden of its political masters? Now, I would also find this, one has had a high regard for the Delhi police as an institution, and it would be a sad day if that happens. It's all right in some, small corner of India, these things happen, but in the country's capital, if this happens, what we see tonight and we saw earlier also,
yes,
then really it is a sad day.
Okay, Gopal Agarwal wants to respond. Go ahead, please.
One thing, I acknowledge your right or everybody's right to question Delhi police actions. They need to answer those questions. But if till those answers are not coming or are being delayed, they can only do it through after proper investigation. They cannot anybody just cannot talk and come out with certain suggestions or solutions or answers. It has to be properly investigated and the authority will give the answer. Till that answers come, we cannot say, aspire any motives to the police that these answers have not come. Therefore, they are manipulating the things. They were working in the master's hand. And why police should not work according to the order of Home Minister? Who is their master? Home Minister or an individual? So individual gives order to the police at the ground. It is a process and procedure and hierarchy, and they are answerable to the Home Ministry. They are answerable to their bosses. They have to follow procedures. They are under proper scrutiny to the judicial process, media. But are you asking the same question to the students? Which student is talking about why they have felt, why you are not asking that question to the students?
I will ask.
So
don't worry, sir.
These
Mr. Agarwal, I will ask.
Use yourself, but you have to ask all your panelists. You should ask them why they came out with this kind of violence.
I'm just pointing out that the police told us in December
what they were doing into why this politicizing. No, the Tanvi, why politicizing is happening in educational institutions? Are you asking them? Ask the VC to answer why this kind of politics is being played in the institutions and only some particularly
this is
3-4
ridiculous.
institutions.
This is ridiculous.
And
the Prime Minister himself was a product of a student movement. This is simply ridiculous. You can't say that there should not be any political conscience among the students.
Why JNU?
It's not just the JNU, it's across the university campuses. The university campuses should be politically aware. We have an equal right to question in this country as adults.
Arsalan, just wait for a minute. Mr. Gopal Agarwal, I took your point. I got your point. You're saying... Politicization of campuses has always happened in this country. There is a reason.
Only JNU always
Mr. Gopal Agarwal, I got your point now. But are you saying that ABVP and NSUI were born just in the last 1 year?
Jamia, it's also the BHU.
Mr. Gopal Agarwal, what are you saying? ABVP, NSUI have all existed for the longest time. Politicization of our campuses, of our universities is not a new thing. So many top leaders of BJP are a product of these student politics.
So I am telling this is the truth.
So why are you asking questions about politicization of campus today?
That's what I'm saying.
Why is it happening now? Meaning what? It happened 30 years ago as well.
You caught with your own words, Mr. Gopal Agarwal. You caught with your own words.
At present, you are questioning only. You are questioning police, but not the institutional politics.
Okay, I will question the students also. Now wait, Mr. Agarwal.
Not today only.
Don't make allegations before the debate is over. After that, you can. Arsalan, answer this question.
JNU is a political institution.
Arsalan, answer this question. Yeah. The fact that there were stone
JNU always
pelters or people holding stones inside the library at one point, hiding there, pretending to study, does show that on that day, some of those from outside entered the college, the university.
Right from the day one, from 15th of December, we have been demanding for a judicial inquiry. If any of the student is found to be indulging in violence, we are ready to cooperate with the police and let them prosecute the accused. But now the question is, the fact that the police entered the library, vandalized the library and brutally hit the students has been established. Should we be asking the police to not investigate this matter? We've been asking for a judicial inquiry.
Who started this violence? How will the police
investigate an action like where they themselves... It was not the students. It was not the students. Right we are saying we will cooperate if we are saying a responsible institution like the Delhi police can't behave in such an unprofessional manner. It has been established that they don't have a right.
Gopal Agarwal, you got your fair share of time to speak, Gopal Agarwal. Please don't interrupt others when they're talking. Arsalan, I have a question for you. People who are visible inside the library holding stones, outside and inside holding rocks in their hands, many of their faces are visible. Are you now today telling me on this national channel that those guys are not students?
I'm not denying that they are students or they're outsiders. We don't know the fact yet. We are saying let there be a judicial inquiry, let there be some interrogation. We are ready to cooperate with that. But the fact that the Delhi police broke open the library and brutally thrashed the people, brutally thrashed anyone in their sight, it is not justifiable under any circumstances. How can they behave in such an unprofessional manner? Will the Delhi police act on those police personnel who broke the cameras, who thrashed the students? I have my very own friend who suffered multiple fractures on both his legs.
Okay.
Who is to be held accountable for that?
That's the question we are asking. But tell me this, what do you expect the Delhi police to do if pelters who resort to arson and riot on streets get inside the library and then lock up the door? What do you expect the Delhi police to do?
You know, the university has its own sanctity. The university has its own proctorial staff. The police should have approached the proctorial staff to investigate. The police has no right to enter the campus, violate the rights of students and trash up anyone coming in their side. That's not justifiable. How do you brutalize someone? No one burned the buses. Establish the fact. Let's talk on facts. Let's talk on facts. We have the Delhi police on record breaking open the doors of the library and thrashing anyone in the side. How is this justifiable? Will there be an action on those police personnel who broke the cameras? Will there be action on those police personnel who brutally thrashed the students?
Yes. Shouldn't there be action?
I want the Home Minister accountable for it. We have been asking from day one for a judicial inquiry.
Once the investigation is over,
let there be a judicial inquiry.
If not today, 3 months later, will there be action on those cops who broke the CCTV? Who beat students there? Beating students who are quietly sitting.
There has been no apology, no official apology for innocent, for beating up innocent students.
Okay, let me hear what Gopal Agarwal has to say. Yes.
I agree with the questions you are raising, certain questions with the Delhi police. They have to answer, they should answer, they will, I think. I'm not a spokesperson. I said initially that I'm not a spokesperson of Delhi police, but I think certain questions, if they are raised, they have to answer because they are answerable and accountable to the public. Ultimately, every institution in this democratic city setup in our country is ultimately accountable to the media, to the judiciary, and to the people. They need to answer, and if their investigation, you need a time to investigate, and if investigation finds anything incorrect, anybody indulging or extending its responsibility or order, he has to be accountable, and
yes, but it's been 2 months and the Delhi police is acting as if they didn't know about this video. That's my problem, Mr. Gopal Agarwal.
There has been an
all these assurances are
action by
fine.
the Delhi police.
This video has been with the Delhi police since December 18th. The Delhi police is telling us yesterday when this video became public information that we will look into it. So what have you been doing for 2 months? By now, these cops who are breaking the CCTV should have been at least suspended or facing an inquiry.
I have answered. And I want to ask the VC and the other authorities from the university, there are students identified in this video. If you consider these videos as authentic, I don't consider them authentic.
Gopal Agarwal,
they are approved, but
Mr. Gopal Agarwal,
then the VC and the college university should have suspended them and rusticated them. Have they rusticated them?
Yes.
Have they suspended these students?
Okay, Arsalan wants to respond to that.
Record has said the Delhi police has not been registering. The Delhi police has not been registering
because this
an FIR.
video
The Vice Chancellor had said this on record.
By the Jamia
the Vice Chancellor has said this on record. We are open for a judicial inquiry. Why not? Come on. You can't be more despicable on this. Don't give me a...
I want to go across to Geeta Bhatt at this point. I want to go across to Geeta Bhatt. She hasn't spoken. It's been a half hour into the debate. My apologies. Thank you for patiently waiting by Dr. Bhatt. You know, video versus video, this action versus that. Obviously, questions have to be asked on both sides, but it becomes a little concerning when police of the national capital starts beating children or youngsters who are simply sitting there unarmed. If the police thought these were criminals who were resorting to violence, they could have very well arrested them and taken them out. Don't you think so?
Well, Tanvi, you know, in campuses, as the discussion was happening for the last half an hour, in many campuses across India, it is not for the first time that the students have, you know, come out and they have got violent. As and when, n number of times you can look into the records. Whenever any kind of a procession, it is irrespective of whether they are students or maybe a political party or farmers or XYZ, anyone. If the procession is going to get violent, the police is going to take action, and the action has to be something which will be of a physical nature. It is because they have to control you know, such kind of an action which is taking place. Now, we all very well know that when the students of Jamia, when they went out for a procession against CAA, at that particular time, you know, there were certain, whether they were Jamia students or whether there were some, you know, some other people, some rioters who got into that procession and in a way hijacked that procession, and there was stone pelting on the police that all of us have seen. That is a reality, and as you know, it has been largely accepted that large crowd, when the students when the police you know, responded, at that time they all ran inside the campus. Also, please remember that it is the Vice Chancellor of the Jamia University who herself has categorically accepted that more than 700 fake iCards have been confiscated. They have been found out. Now, this is something very serious, Tanvi. Now, this is what has been caught. God knows how many of them are there. Because that only the institution, people who are working in the institution, in the system, are actually knowing, because it cannot be done without, you know, without the help of people inside. These iCards can be used for using numerous facilities of the campus, which could be including staying inside the campus also. We do not, this is a very serious thing, and it could have, it can create a lot of security lapses for the institution, for the university, as well as for the society at large, because it can be misused for many purposes. So this very well shows that that besides the fact that, you know, the lathi charge which took place,
there are larger issues
there
for
is
sure,
something which
Dr.
was
Bhatt.
brewing
Yes.
inside, which maybe not, which we are not aware of.
Yes,
Now,
but we are not aware of.
as far
Neither
as
is the Delhi
student
police.
activism is,
So it doesn't justify what they
you are talking
did.
about politics. Yes, that is I'm saying. No, you see, no one is justifying what they did, but the fact remains that as in every time, if any kind of a procession will go violent, it has been the record that this is how the police, maybe this is a part of their standard operating procedure that Ms. Dr. Pasricha can tell better, but this is how they have to respond. There is no other way out. Now, it may be that the Jamia students, they did not realize that their procession will be hijacked by people from outside, and since everybody ran inside, and many of them, because, and also, so it is very difficult for at that, you know, in that moment to find out that who is a stone pelter and who is not. It is something which nobody can find out. And also, as far as the, you know, finding the veracity of these videos, because the university has submitted the CCTV to MHRD, they have submitted it to the NHRC.
Correct.
And also to an internal fact-finding committee. However, there were few who said that we want to go and take a legal action. And they have also been given some video footage. Now, suddenly, there is this particular Twitter handle called Jamia Coordination Committee. That is which has come out with the video. I don't know from where you have got this video, but on the social media, this is with this particular handle. These videos with selective videos have been put out, but naturally they have to show their point of, they are saying that police has been very brutal. So they very selectively, they have taken out certain clips and they have put it. However, if you try to look at the, you know, the videos which have been uploaded, they are by a studio called Mektoob Studio. Mektoob Studio, which has its origin from Kerala, and also their editor is a man called Shaheen
essentially
Abdullah.
you're raising questions on the authenticity of these videos?
No,
I'm trying to understand where you're trying to go with this.
Put forth that please remember that there was one man. Yes, I'm coming to that. There was this man who was shielded by 3 burqa-clad women in Friends Colony, which became a huge issue in the media. That man was also a man called Shaheen Abdullah. I do not know whether he is the same person. But the video which has been, this has the stamp of this Mektoob video studio. So,
can you please talk on
authenticity of the videos, they need to be verified.
No, but let's not raise random questions and throw random theories here and there, Geeta Bhatt. Let's talk about facts. Let's talk about the videos that are visible, which, by the way, none of these videos have so far been denied by the Delhi police.
Tanvi, this is a fact.
The Delhi police has released its own set of videos, and Mirror Now here is not taking any sides. We're running all videos.
If you don't want to believe it, it's a different issue.
Why will I believe anything which has not been verified by our own people?
Yes,
just because you're saying it has to be verified. There has to be a fact to it. Some authority has to tell us. Just like I will not believe anything that Arsalan sits here and tells me.
I am not
the same way.
Tanvi.
Okay, I have another video coming up. Now, here is another one. Now, there have been many questions. Dr. Geeta Bhatt, listen to me.
I am just raising certain questions.
Fair enough. You can raise those questions. Fair enough. Okay, you've raised those questions. Now, we are going to get another video, viewers, and this one will be interesting to watch. There have been many of those who are saying, why were the students covering their faces if they had nothing to hide? Well, technically, why was the police covering his faces if they had nothing to hide? And for both, the answer can be this: because there was tear gas being used. Because the police has resorted to using tear gas shells. The same reason that the police had its faces covered during a riot-like situation. The same reason students had to do that. Now, this is the video on your screens right now, and we're going to play it out. Look at the mayhem inside the Jamia campus. Look at the mayhem. Look at the chaos that's unfolding at every single point. There was a point where a tear gas shell was lobbed, which is why people are trying to cover their faces so that they don't inhale the smoke. That's the point. Glasses are being broken. People are running helter-skelter trying to save themselves. Look at this video. Tear gas shell inside this building, inside this library, inside the study room of the Jamia campus. Now, you can very well say that everybody who had their face covered was a protester, a stone pelter, an anti-national, or simply that there were students also stuck here who had to cover their faces and their noses so that the tear gas smoke doesn't go inside their system. Was this all necessary? The Delhi police has to start giving us some answers. It's been 2 months. It's been 2 months since all of this happened. And the police is telling us today, we will look into it. Dr. Pasricha, if I can come back to you, and the investigation and the forensic testing will happen. But the fact of the matter is, in the video, you can see men in uniform breaking the CCTV. Why would somebody who's a law enforcement authority want to break crucial evidence?
So that's the point. That's the point. You see, I'll just tell in 2 minutes, sum up the entire thing. You know what happens is that my experience shows that most of the time, the miscreants, generally outsiders, they ignite the situation. After making it, explosive, they quietly leave the scene, and then the situation is between the students and the police administration. Now the police job becomes difficult because they do not know whether to act or not to act. So there be to be or not to be situation, sometimes the dilemma that causes a lot of problems. If they do, then they are going to be accused of overaction. If they don't do, they'll be accused of inaction. Now, once they have entered, now here one thing is very important, that the video, if it's authenticated to be true, if it's authenticated by the forensic investigation, then if they find that some policemen did indulge in assaulting the students when they were sitting in the library, even if they are accused, that will not be acceptable. That will be very, very wrong, unethical and illegal as well. Now, hiding their faces, etc., that, well, again, these are going to be found out. But one thing is important, that 2 months have passed. Police should have arrived at some conclusion. They must expedite the investigation because it's a matter of their honor as well, their reputation as well. And I think 60 days should have been enough to complete the investigation. Now, it's very easy to discuss and debate who is right, who is not. I think that only investigation will reveal. At this juncture, it's only a debate, nothing beyond it. Thank you.
Right. Okay, I completely take your point, but Mr. Gopal Agarwal, I know you don't represent the police, but your response to what Mr. Pasricha is saying, that it's been 2 months, by now we should have got something from the Delhi police.
Yes, definitely you can. You have every right. I have said that you have the right to the questioning to the Delhi police, and they should answer. How much time it will take or not is for their procedure. I don't know, but we cannot debate or cast aspiration to or motives to police because of just video, because neither your channel or yourself or anybody is vouching for the authenticity of these videos. So we just seeing this video and saying that the police indulging in violence, in extra force more than required, or student acting with pelting stones, etc., cannot be just talked about from this video. First, you have to establish the authenticity. Otherwise, I will talk about the student pelting stones on the police. Police will say that we used student Jamia will
can
say.
I ask you something?
But I think this
Mr. Gopal
Jamia
Agarwal,
Coordination Committee, I don't know.
Narasimha Rao, the BJP MP in the morning.
10 seconds more.
Yes, go on.
I am just saying that this is Jamia Coordination Committee. I don't know whether it is an official body of Jamia Authority University, but
not of the administration. No, it's not.
Not have released these videos without proper authorization.
Okay.
So then
Mr.
I agree with
in the
Geeta
morning
that
said
there is
some
a
students,
conspiracy behind the whole thing.
Mr. Jamia Millia in the morning said some students are seen with stones in these videos. If these are students, why are they covering their faces? Now, does that answer the question BJP has? If they are students, why are they covering faces? I've just run a video that shows tear gas shell was used inside the library. Who would not cover their faces? Even the police had to cover their faces.
Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao talked about on the videos, because the debate is on videos.
Yes.
So their own video is showing this. So whether you are talking about police action,
no, I'm talking about the fresh video, Mr. Gopal Agarwal. I'm not too sure if you have a screen next to you. This is the video that we are running right now of inside the library and the classrooms where tear gas was thrown. You can see smoke and youngsters running, trying to run and get out of those buildings, breaking glass to get out to save themselves. This is what happened inside. And I'm just going to quote at this point, by the way, for our viewers also, because the Delhi police needs to clarify on one more thing. And this is what the Delhi police needs to come clean on. Here is a report that I'm quoting from the Hindu from December 18th, where the headline itself says, police deny entering the university library. And they've actually gone on to quote the police to say, whether the library was ransacked is a matter of investigation. Our force did not enter the library. I'm sure by now the police knows they did enter the library. There are enough videos to suggest that. Neerja Chaudhary, first to you and then Arsalan can come in. Neerja Chaudhary.
I have a very limited point, a limited question in my mind that, after seeing these images, if the police goes into the library and you see them going for the seated students who are not doing anything at all, no retaliation, they are not impeding the police from taking action against the stone pelters or stone carriers. They are not doing any of that. We can't see that. They are seated there, obviously studying, and the police just rain lathi blows on them. Why? Why does the police break the CCTV camera? I will refer to Mr. Amit Shah's statement recently, 2-3 days ago, saying that it was wrong of people to have said about Goli in the context of the Delhi elections. I think also the use of the lathi in the way we're seeing in Jamia, and we're seeing images of it, on people who are just seated, not provoking the police in any way, is also wrong. And I think, I hope, we expect the Delhi police to be an impartial force, to maintain law and order in our capital and look after your safety, my safety, our well-being. That's why we look up to the Delhi police. And I hope very much that the answers that you're raising tonight about their actions, that we will get those answers from them.
Okay, very quickly, Arsalan, I'm going to ask you this question one more time. There are many in those videos walking around with rocks in their hands. I won't even call them stones. Can you and your team, give me assurance that you will help the police identify? Why don't you identify some of these people? Shouldn't you ask a university to suspend these guys at least, pending police investigation?
We are ready to coordinate. We are ready to coordinate with any sort of investigation, but the police action has been brutal. It has been rogue by such a irresponsible action which a professional force has taken. We just can't trust them. We are asking for a judicial probe. Let there be a judicial probe. We are ready to fully cooperate with them.
No, but why won't you guys want to find out if some of these were students from your campus who not only put your life and others' life in jeopardy, who also brought a bad name to Jamia?
I am saying this on record. We are ready to cooperate, but on a judicial inquiry, not with the police. We don't trust the police force because they had been rogue on that day. They were communal slurs, and it has been 64 days. The Vice Chancellor on record has said that the police is not cooperating. The MHRD has not been cooperating. The Vice Chancellor of a central university is saying that the central government has not been cooperating. There has been no FIR so far. It has been 64 days.
If you
now, who's going to question that?
Authenticity?
Yes, Gopal Agarwal.
Let me ask the MHRD to appoint a judicial. Let me ask the MHRD to initiate a judicial inquiry, and we are ready to fully cooperate by a retired High Court judge. We are ready to cooperate.
If you are so sure, no. Okay, thank you for your cooperation to the Delhi police. I will convey them. The thing is, if you are so
Not
sure
with
about
Delhi
the
police.
videos, authenticity of the videos,
Yeah.
there are visible faces. Though if he is so sure about the authenticity of these videos,
Yes.
at least there are certain faces which are
Correct.
genuinely students of Jamia and indulging in violence. They should take initial steps and
But, okay, we
investigate
don't know
them
at this
and
point,
terminate
neither
them.
do you, nor
At
do
least
I,
they,
which
if
is
they
why
are
we've not
at
so
assumed
no
Mr.
point
Gopal
denied
Agarwal.
this.
vigilant
We have
students.
at no point
Which
denied
one of
this.
those are
We
students and
saying
which
let
one are
the facts be
outsiders?
established.
What is clear though is that yes, there were those who were part of the protest who did enter the university, and from inside the university they can be seen pelting stones. They entered the library, some of them had stones in their hands. None of that, viewers, really justifies the police behaving in the way they did. Yes, we understand riot control situations are difficult. Yes, when we understand when hundreds are present and some of them are resorting to stone pelting, others to arson, things get very, very difficult. But there is absolutely no reason why the police of the national capital, one of the best police forces in our country, should behave in such a manner and lash out and thrash unarmed youngsters sitting inside the library of a university campus. That's just not done. If any of them were criminals, if any of them were responsible for the violence, then the Delhi police should have right away taken them away, booked them, arrested them. But they didn't do that. Instead, these men in uniform broke the CCTVs, damaged the CCTVs, damaged the furniture, and then trashed these men inside the library, creating havoc, spreading about fear with people and students, youngsters, women running around helter-skelter. There has to be some accountability. 2 months later, the Delhi police can't just turn around and tell us, we are investigating. We need more clarity. Thank you for joining us on this debate.